this place, preserve the environment, and we're going to have to prosper. As we said, preparation, hard work, opportunity in the second year. Prepare, speak in English. The Japanese investor or the Chinese investor is not going to talk to you in Tagalog. He's going to talk to you in English, so you better start thinking in English. And then we did all kinds of things, like, you know, bringing in fiber optic cable, bringing the world to the Philippines and the Philippines to the world by land, by air, by sea, by satellite, and cyberspace. And we made a new highway with a tunnel, and we did that in record time. And finally, when we got FedEx, I had a big fish in the line. The ambassador, who later on became a big honcho in the United States, he told me, reel it in, Dick, because I was still bargaining with Fred Smith. And Larry Hillblom, when he found out that I got FedEx, came over, and, you know, I shook hands with the guy with the shirt and tie, and then I said, I'm not Larry Hillblom. He's the guy with the jeans and the dark glasses and the T-shirt. I remember that time. And I saw his young wife on the plane coming down here, with the lawyer, of course, checking on the investments left by Larry Hillblom here in Guam. But anyway, to make a long story short, we were able to get back on our feet very, very fast. And today we have 97,000 jobs inside Subic. We now build ships. The biggest ships in the world are built now in Subic Bay. If you wanted to build an aircraft carrier, Hanjin is building all those ships out there. They're soon going to have 27,000 Filipinos working out there. We now have 17,000. In about a couple of years, or by 2010 rather, we'll have about 27,000 people working in Hanjin. Change the environment. What used to be a gunnery range, or a place where they use for combat exercises, is now, you know, a very huge shipyard that builds ships. The dry dock that they pulled out, the Americans were very bad. They pulled out the dry dock, they brought it to Guam, I think. Now it's back there, you know, servicing small ships. And, you know, I'll tell you something. When they were removing everything that was not bolted to the ground, I went to America and said, please don't take the bowling lanes. And the guy there, he was must have been a fruitcake in the State Department and assigned to the Pacific desk. And he said, oh, no, you know, Mayor, when you were mayor and the bases were here, you know, you're no longer, the Philippines is no longer in the top 10 of the hit parade. You know, you used to be number 6 or number 5. But because there are no more bases, you're probably number 145. He was very bad. I said, please don't take away the bowling. Oh, you know, if you had the bases, we can get lawyers here from the state and from the Defense Department to take care of your problem. So I stood up and I said, so okay. So the people from the left were right. It was not really a matter of community of interest. It was really just America first, rather than the Philippines together. And I said, oh, no, Mayor, don't get mad. You know, I said, I am mad. And I said, you're insulting me. And so I stood up and said, is there anybody you want to meet? You know, you want to meet Solarts? I know Solarts. You want to meet, you know, the guy from Indiana, Mr. Lugar? I said, I know Mr. Lugar. I said, I don't want to meet anybody because we're no longer in the top 10 of the hit parade. And he was stunned. So I decided to go up. And I said, oh, yeah, by the way, there's somebody I want to meet. Oh, who's that? You know, with this. You know, his veneer changed. Finally, the mayor has gotten back and is no longer mad. I said, I want to meet somebody. Who's that? Mr. Brunswick. We don't have a senator with any of the congressman. Don't you know Mr. Brunswick? No. He's the guy who makes bowling lanes. And I said, when you come to the Subic Bay, I'm going to make you the finest, the best bowling lanes in the world in that area where you took it out. I built it 2 years later. And when I got back to Washington, all those guys who said, and I put up the biggest flagpole in the country, I put the biggest flag, 94 feet, the biggest flag in the floor in the Philippines. We struck it up there. They said it was going to fall down in the next typhoon. It's still up there. It never goes down. It's a holiday flag. You know, no holidays. Day and night, it must fly because it showed the character, the attitude, the assertiveness, the aiming high, the work ethic, and the everything that goes along with transformation. And today, in spite of the fact that later on I got kicked out by Joseph Strada. You know, remember Joseph Strada? The guy who would talk, you know, he talked with the, you know, he'd always say, vote for me, ako para sa mahirap. You know, in English, I am pro-poor. Yeah. And I'll tell you something, well, he kicked me out, you know, because I picked up his cigarette butt at the height of Pinatubo was smoking, and he flicked the cigarette because I was talking in English. I guess he didn't understand very well, and he was bored, and so he squished it with his foot. I went down, picked it up, and said, in spite of the fact that we're having a hard time in Pinatubo, I put it on the wastebasket. We still managed to maintain our sanitation habits. He understood it. He's just pretending he didn't know English. He knows English. And he was very upset. So when he took over as President of the Republic of the Philippines, even before he took his oath, I'm going to get Gordon. Administrative order number 1, remove Dick Gordon. And he did. I'll tell you, we stood our ground. I said, go to court. You take me out violently, we'll stand our ground. We stayed for about 4 months. Finally, he went to court. I said, you're going to win there. It's going to be a honeymoon decision. Well, he got me out. But when we got out, we cleaned up the place where we were. We went up with our heads up high. Well, he went to jail. I became Secretary of Tourism later on, and I'm now a senator. And I may be running for president against him again in 2010. Everything comes full circle. Having said all of that now, I guess, Guam, you're going to be able to meet this new challenge, I'm sure. You got Bob Underwood, University of Guam, should be able to tie up with government. Education is number 1. You got to get everybody attuned to what the world needs, what the market needs, what the Americans are going to need, and what else can go side by side the American military here that will provide a lot of business but will also provide social costs. We had that in Subic Bay, but we fixed it. We made sure that we didn't just blame the Americans, but we kept talking with them all the time. We had problems, but we fixed them. Scavengers were being shot when they went inside the base. Some of them were shot and killed. They thought the guard would say they were wild boar. When it was my turn, I told them, hey, they're going to get in, you're going to badge them, and we're going to do this. And that's what we did. And today, all those scavengers have lands of their own. They've sent their kids to school. Transition is what it's all about, and transformation. You got to get education to your people. And I bet you, if you keep on improving the University of Guam, you keep on getting other things out here, I'm sure you're going to be able to do it. I have no magic formula. All I know is if you put people on a vision mode, and on a value mode, and an attitude mode, and tell them, hey, let's talk about where we're going, it's so easy. They will know how to sail. After all, people in Guam found Guam without a GPS many, many thousands of years ago. So let's create a GPS for Guam. I just thought about this now. The Guam Progress System. All right. And I'm sure you're going to do it. So let me just end by quoting Ulysses. Come, my friends, 'tis not too late to seek a newer world. For my purpose holds to sail beyond the sunset. And though we may not have that heart which in old days moved earth and heaven, that which we are, we are. One equal temper of heroic heart, made weak by time and fate, but still strong in will, to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield. Thank you all very much, and good afternoon.